Well, welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joe Sangle, one of the hosts of the podcast, and I'm fired up to help you every single Monday with a tip that helps you progress in your financial journey to a fully funded life. We don't want to regress, we want to progress. Today, we're going to talk about a tool that can help you pay off debt more rapidly. So if you're focused on paying off debt, or you have someone in your life that's focused on paying off debt, well, we're going to show you a tool, it's a trick really, to help you visually see your debt being paid off. You know, a lot of times when you're paying off debt, it can be a rather extended journey, particularly if it's a larger item, such as a car or a house. Now, if you're paying off a washing machine, you know, that can be done more rapidly in most cases. But, you know, when you're just seeing numbers on a page, it's very important to make your debt payoff journey visual. This is a tip that helped me in my own journey. It has helped lots of others. And that's why we have debt payoff spectaculars as free tools on our website. It's a way of making our debt payoff journey visual. And so just to show you how that works, I'm going to show you how I use this tool, what we affectionately around here know as debt payoff spectaculars. We named it that because it's spectacular and no one else had taken that word. So it's a debt payoff spectacular. And so this is my house. And here's what I did. If you're not watching online, you're listening while you're running or driving the car or whatever. I basically took an outline of my house. I did this in PowerPoint and I put a bunch of little squares in it. They're not square feet. They're just squares. And so I counted all the little squares and realized that every single square, I divided that into what I paid for the house. And I can't remember exactly what each square equaled, but I think it was somewhere around $72 around that. And so it made it bite size. This is one of the powers of the spectacular, is it makes a large debt become bite size. If you remember the old statement, how do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. That is exactly the principle we are employing and deploying here. Is, you know, when you're trying to pay off a house, you're trying to pay off a car, it can be like eating a giant elephant. And it's like you're stuck on the hide of it and you're just gnawing and feel like you're making no progress. Every month you make a payment, every month you make a payment. And if you have a 30-year mortgage, man, those first few years of payments, it's like almost everything is interest. But this allows you to show, hey, if I have $72 extra in this case, then I can color in an extra square this month. And it helps me do this NCAA tournament, basketball tournament, you know, in March Madness, when we are comparing different teams and we're weighing who's going to win. Well, if I say $72, what could I do with it? I could go out to eat to a nice meal, or I could color in a square. Well, sometimes going out to eat's going to win. Sometimes, hey, it's more exciting to eat peanut butter and jelly and color in a square on that house. So this is where I was at when I started employing this tool. And so I decided to have fun with this. And every month when I made a payment, I would see how much of that was principal. And I would be able to say, okay, I get to color in some more squares. And I decided that I was going to own the walls of my house. And so you can see this month, I was able to color in about 10 squares. And then I was able to color in about 10 squares again the next month. And this is really my journey. In fact, I posted it on my blog every day, every month I gave an update. And so every month I colored in. And now look, all of a sudden in this month, we could only color in 4 squares. We had to back up. This next month, 4 squares. Sometimes there are months where you just cannot pay extra. And we encountered challenges. And you know, I don't know if this is when we're facing in vitro, where we're trying to have another baby, or whether or not this is when we found out that in vitro didn't work and then we got pregnant on our own and we didn't have maternity insurance. I'm not quite sure, but some things happened and I had to back up and do 4 or 5 squares a month. And I'm just showing it to you case by case here. If you're watching this online, you can see that we are doing this here. You know, just every single month. Now, I want you to think about it for a minute. Every single time I click, if you're listening, you're not going to really hear the click, but every time is 30 to 31 days, maybe 28 days. Okay? So life is happening. Medical bills are happening. Cars are breaking down. Home appliances are failing. But it made it visual. And every month I made a little bit of progress. And I got into the sunroom and I was only able to color in 3 squares on this particular month. This next month, I was only able to color in a square. But I didn't lose heart. The next month, we were able to color in 5 squares and then 5 squares and then 5 squares. And all of a sudden, we started to make tremendous progress. We had that glorious period of time when life didn't happen and cost me loads of money. And I was able to start doing 5 squares a month and then 6 squares. And we started just having fun. I started going in diagonals just because I was tired of going linearly and went back and forth. And every single month, every time I'm clicking is a month, I started doing plus signs. It was fun. And then all of a sudden I realized, hey, we were closing in on being able to pay this house off. And some amazing things happened in our life. Our business took off. Some investments took off. And all of a sudden, in the course of about 3 or 4 months, we realized we could pay off the rest of this house. And it was so much fun visually to see this happen. And we ended up with a paid for house. And of course, on our website, we have a tool called an early payoff calculator where you can say, hey, if I pay this extra amount, that extra bite every month, how much sooner would I pay off the house and how much interest I'd avoid paying? I encourage you to check out that tool. We'll have a link to it in the show notes. But then we created a whole coloring book of these. We have a minivan payoff spectacular. My buddy colored his in and sent me a picture. He was fired up. Another person sent me one on Twitter, which is now known as X. The Jeep payoff spectacular, they colored in their Jeep. We have a truck payoff spectacular. The idea went crazy. We have a student loan payoff spectacular, a TV payoff spectacular, a credit card payoff spectacular. We even have a llama payoff spectacular. And that's funny until you recognize that I have now met 2 people who financed llamas. And that is funny. I don't care who you are. But whatever it is that you're coloring in, that you're paying off, it makes it visual. And when you make your journey visual, man, that can be so helpful in recognizing that I really, truly am making progress. One of the things that we did in our family that I encourage each of you to do is to print out each thing you're paying off. If you're paying off a car, student loans, a credit card that you're not paying off every month, you're looking to pay these things off, print them each out, and every month have a family gathering. And if you have children in the house, invite them to help you color it in. Hey, we all still like coloring, but when you can see united together as a family that you're making progress, hey, if you're having to make some sacrifices right now to be able to focus on debt payoff, you can invite the family into the journey. And I want you to get into your mind a mental image of what life's going to look like on that day when you color in those final squares. When that car is going to be paid off, when the student loans are over and out of your life, when the credit card is gone and you have cash in your pocket, and instead of answering that question, what's in your wallet? A credit card. You can say cash money. Hey, I would just tell you, when you pay off that house, it's another level and you can do it. I encourage you to check out our free tools at iwasbrokenowimnot.com. You can check them out at fullyfunded.life as well. I really encourage you to check out Fully Funded Life. It comes with courses for education, all about debt payoff. We also have challenges, a debt payoff challenge. We also have unlimited Zoom coaching appointments, 30-minute long Zoom coaching appointments. You can be signed up for 2 at a time, so you can get back-to-back ones. Our coaches will help you calculate your debt freedom date, help you use the early payoff calculator. Hey, it'll be worth your time, energy, and investment. You can check it out at fullyfunded.life. Hey, it's Monday. I encourage you to take some steps. If you're paying off debt, I encourage you that step would be to go to our website, download the free debt payoff spectaculars, print them out, put them in a place where you'll see them most, maybe the refrigerator, maybe the spot where you pay off your bills, and invite your family into the journey. I think you'll be really glad that you did. Have a great week, everybody. Get fired up. Hey everyone, Joe Sangel here. Thanks so much for watching this episode. Hey, I encourage you to check out our other videos that are available here. If you like this, hey, every single week we're producing new content that is to help you with right now relevant information. So make sure you click one of the links and check out some more of our information. I think you'll be so glad that you did. I know your wallet will be glad you did.